All right, guys, so just quickly, I just wanted to go over a really simple video that I think is going to really help you understand how intricate nutrition, exercise, and all these other factors are towards you achieving your goals, okay? So, what I want to do is go over what we're going to call the sturdy house principle. This is a cool way of looking at things, and hopefully, you'll understand how, again, everything just always works together. And the more you can do a lot of things well, the better off you're probably going to be in the long term. So, what you need to understand is this roof, right? So, what's black here? So, if I just write here, so this is your physical, all right, plus mental health. Okay, so physical and mental health represents the roof. Now, what we need to understand is that this roof, okay, is supported by four walls. Now, these four walls, or I guess the four that we're going to focus on the most, is going to be nutrition, sleep, hydration, and exercise. So these four, okay, are probably the bulk of where we need to really focus our attention when it comes to just getting reasonable results and having those be sustainable over a long period of time. Now, what I want you to understand is these four have to work together consistently in order to support the roof, which is your physical and mental health. Now, what happens is if we decide, you know what, we're not going to drink that much water, all right, consistently. So that might be during the day or throughout the week or throughout the month or just in general, then naturally, okay, these three other walls, which in this case are exercise, nutrition, and sleep, they need to basically be much more robust or much more bulletproof, as I'd like to say, because now the roof is basically structurally compromised because we've decided, you know what, we're just not going to drink water at all. So that means that our nutrition, our sleep, and our exercise has to be on point due to the fact that our hydration levels aren't great. And we know, based on evidence, that even just a 2% reduction in hydration, especially in athletes, decreases performance. And the fact that we're about 60 to 70% made out of water, it's only right that we probably focus on that. So again, as you can imagine, if we have all four, that roof or that physical and mental health is much more stable, and it'll probably be better off long term because it's sustainable habits that we build over time throughout these four. So, next thing we also need to realize is that not only do we have four core walls or four core pillars that support our physical and mental health, but we also have the foundation, right? So what the house lies on is the foundation, which in this case is the environment, the stress, okay, and also the support network that we potentially have, or our barriers or obstacles or that we face every single day. So naturally, again, your environment might be things like your workplace, it might be your current household, it might be just the people in your household, which also affects your support network, because if you're trying to achieve something and other people are potentially hurting you from achieving that goal because they're not bought in or they don't see the value in what you're doing, then naturally that's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to adhere and stay accountable. Stress, again, that can be caused by potentially the lack of your support network. It also could be caused by your environment, such as your workplace, your home, or any other external factor. So again, now if we go back to the house, although our four pillars might be structurally intact, if we have potentially a low or a lack of support, we have high levels of stress, and our environment tends to dictate the outcome, then this, although might be really, really good, is probably still going to take a little bit of a hit. So although our four pillars, core pillars, are doing really well, our physical and mental health might take a hit due to the fact that our environment and the stress and the lack of support affects that as well. And again, just to make it even more kind of, or I guess just to land it even more, if we decided, you know what, you're not going to get a minimum of 6 to 7, potentially 8 hours sleep, and you should be aiming for at least 7 to 8. If we don't have that, if our nutrition's poor, right, then naturally that's going to place a lot of focus on exercise and hydration, which is probably not going to be enough for you to get results, which probably means your mental health is going to take a hit and your physical, because you won't be recovering well enough due to the lack of sleep and the lack of nutrition. Plus, if you have environmental factors, stress, and also a lack of support around you, then naturally this is slowly going to deteriorate until you can't basically handle it anymore. So then you might say, screw it, I'm done, I'm not going to work out anymore, I'm going to scrap that, I'm not really worried about sleep, I'm just going to focus maybe on food and hydration, and maybe even then that's not happening. So hopefully this just makes you realize that there's 4 potential core pillars that we want to focus on: nutrition, sleep, hydration, and exercise. If you focus on these 4 and do these really well, you will get decent results. If we can then focus on certain little factors that are potentially not as much within your control, such as your workplace or your household, certain trigger foods that might cause you to fall off the nutrition wagon, potential stress caused within, again, your household or your work, or just things that are outside your control. If we can try to focus on these things here while also focusing on the big picture, I can guarantee that your physical and mental health will improve. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. If you have any questions, just drop a message on the group or just message us or email us directly, and we can kind of just dig into it a little bit further. So again, the Sturdy House Principle, hopefully that makes sense.